breaking down Lubbock high sports. This is the Westerner Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Good Wednesday evening. This is Randy Rosetta. This is 100.7 The Score. This is the High School Fan Zone. We started back up on Monday for the first time of the 2026-27 school year. We're going to follow up with our Wednesday chaser. This is going to be LISD night, all fall. Well, we'll go until May. So every Wednesday night, most Wednesday nights, you'll be here with me and somebody from the four LISD coach or the LISD schools. So that means in order we will go Lubbock High, Coronado, Monterey, Estacado. We are about to start football season, so this episode is very football centric. We're going to jump in with, I know I've asked you this before, but my brain's frazzled. Fifth year Lubbock High coach Juan Rodriguez. You're the dean of Lubbock High coach or of Lubbock ISD coaches, right?
Yes.
You survived, my man. I
survived, coach. Yes, I did.
Before we jump in, though, I made sure and I exchanged messages with Executive Athletic Director Mike Meeks and the godfather of PR in Lubbock, Mac Owen, who handles LISD stuff, to make sure I had this correct. All Lubbock ISD football games this year can be heard and watched by going to LubbockISDSports.com. All of the audio and visual streaming can be found there, and it can be bookmarked on your iOS or Android device as a web app. So very cool that you can put that. You don't have to keep hunting for it. If you're an old dude like me, Juan's much younger. He's a young pup. If you're an old man like me, you get tired of having to search for things. It'll be there right on your screen, and then it takes me 10 minutes to find something that I've put on my screen.
It's taken us 2 days,
but that's incredible. It's an interesting new concept that LISD is doing. You'll be able to get anything you want. I believe the veteran, the legend, David Thetford will be on most of those home game calls along with Randy Dean. I'm not sure what else, if there will be some road games. I'll get more information on that as we go. I do know that the Estacado Lubbock High game tomorrow will be on. Let me find this to make sure I get this correct. Thursday night games will be on broadcast TV, I believe, most of them, at least these first few. August 27th will be on KCBD, so you'll be able to watch the Westerners and Matadors. However, get your butt out to Lowry Field and watch, because this is the first time since, I believe, 2017 that these two schools have played in football. This is a big weekend. I think last he gave it a name. I'm going to look that up while we're sitting here, too, because you got the Westerners and Matadors on Thursday night at Lowry Field, and then on Friday night you've got Coronado and Monterey in a non-district game, and I'm going to look that up in a break here. I think they've played a non-district game before. I think Coronado had bumped up to 6A way back when 6A began, and they were in separate districts. But that the old battle between Coronado and Monterey will be played right off the bat. So back-to-back Lubbock ISD games against each other. So that's going to be a fun opening week. It's part of an incredible opening week for Lubbock football fans in general, because while the four LISD teams play, the two Lubbock Cooper and two Friendship teams play each other down south. So what an opening week for football. You said it's your fifth year. Man, the lights in Lubbock are going to be lit up Thursday and Friday night with all these games involving city teams. There'll be a lot of traffic.
It's going to be pretty neat. I mean, we're definitely excited for the opportunity to play on Thursday night, and having an opportunity to play Coach Ward and the Matadors is definitely going to be a challenge, and we're looking forward to it. But I think it's going to be an exciting game, and I know our kids are excited. I know his kids and his program is excited. So definitely looking for a great game on Thursday night.
And we should say you haven't played during the season. You guys have scrimmaged the last few years, so there's a little bit of familiarity there.
Yes, absolutely. We've scrimmaged the last couple of years since Eric's first year there, so definitely, now to turn the corner and get a real game going, so it should be fun.
Once you guys got that set up, did you make sure and go to Estacado's graduation and make sure Cedric Ross wasn't coming back?
Yeah, I definitely made sure. I looked at the Colorado State.
Yes.
Which I heard he's doing fantastic.
Well,
good for him.
That's not a surprise at all. That young man will excel.
Fantastic young man.
There's a couple of kids coming out of Lubbock, Cedric Ross and Chase Campbell. If those two aren't on the field for their teams pretty quick, then something's going wrong. Now, Chase is at Texas Tech. They got a little bit of talent at Texas Tech. He's a dude too. So I want to call this up because I know my guy Tanner Marlowe wrote a note for me on the website. Open the season against the Estacado. It'll be the first time you've played since 2017. Lubbock High beat them in 2015, so that's none of your guys. Let's see, 2015 they would have been what? 5 or 6. They'd have been kindergartners.
5 or 6, yeah.
Run around
I was 12, so I know
there you
definitely
go.
I wasn't around. But, and I think it's just, it's an exciting time for LISD, having the opportunity to play, Colorado the next day with Monterey and then us against Estacado. So it's definitely going to be a great night of football and just a great weekend for our district and our community. So we're excited about it.
And you've got a chance to be the LISD champion by the time it's all said and done, right? Because you play everybody.
Well, one of us is going to be the LISD champion, and I don't know if it's going to be us or not, but we're definitely going to give it our fight, our fight in every single game. And, everyone seems to, when you sit around the table and you sit next to those 3 guys, they all feel the same about their programs just like I do, and we're all excited about where we're going and the kids that we have. But, we'll see what happens at the end of the year.
The last time I talked to you on the phone, this is interesting too. Lubbock High, you get on buses this football season, but those buses aren't going very far. You never leave Lubbock, Texas. All of your games are here.
No, and that's kind of why I decided to schedule our scrimmages out of town for those first 2, just because I knew that the following year we were going to have to be at home for a couple of weeks in a row before we hit the road. And, but for the most part, we're basically just a few miles away. So definitely not have to worry about ordering meals or anything of that.
No. You still get to feed them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I just don't need to go, miles away when we can just go around the corner. And so that's definitely exciting for us. And, it changes everything, changes game planning, changes itinerary for the day, and it just makes things a little bit easier and, as far as preparation for us.
Because a few years ago, you got a taste for the El Paso trip.
Yes, I did.
That's one, to me, I'm just speaking for me, not for Juan or anybody else, unless you're going to a playoff game in El Paso, those are not trips you want to habitually make, because that'll grind an old man down right there.
That's absolutely. And, that's one of the longest trips in my coaching career. Other than when I played, but it's just, that was definitely a trip, and I'm glad that we went over there and made it back safely. So,
full disclosure, I used to complain about playoff games in Fort Stockton, thinking, man, that's a long way to go. Then I went to 3 in a row in El Paso, and I thought, God, I'd love to go to Fort Stockton. So it is a long haul, but you know what? Lubbock teams have usually gone down there and done okay. I think it's great that Lubbock High has got this schedule. Selfishly, the website dude and me, a few years from now, I hope there's a bunch of teams that are sticking close to Lubbock most of the time. I hope there's a district or 2 with everybody in it. So coming up on our first break, we got 2 more of these with Juan Rod. We come back in the Westerner Fan Zone. This is Randy Rosetta on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the latest news from Lubbock High Athletics. This is the Westerner Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. We are in the second segment of the Westerner Fan Zone. I want to mention again, Lubbock High Estacado tomorrow night at Lowry Field. No radio, because all games will be on. I've got daughters texting me here. Will be on LubbockISDSports.com. That's audio and video. Randy Dean and David Thetford will be on let me make sure I say that right. I don't want to get TV people mad at me. That game will be live televised on TV on KCBD. So lots of ways to catch the Westerners and Matadors, but I'll say it again. Assuming the heat's bearable tomorrow night, get out there and fill that stadium up. I've always wanted to see a full Lowry Field. One, was here for 6 years before. I've been doing this for 8 years. I would love to see a full Lowry Field just to see what it feels like and just the energy that place could generate.
I can imagine. That would definitely be pretty nice. Definitely expecting a big crowd tomorrow night. So hopefully we can get as close as we can to packing that stadium. But tough to do. It's a pretty big little area. So, well, I don't know why I say big little area, but it's a big stadium. So
it's good.
Very well.
Texas is blessed with very good high school.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, 100%.
There's zero excuse not to get out there now. I'm going to hear this. I guarantee you. Is Lubbock High home or visitor?
We're home.
So the Estacado folks are going to have to sit over there where the sun's going to be down on them
for a little while.
Believe me, I had to hear from my wife and some friends a couple times when you guys were visitors about being over there. So
it's definitely a little warm on that side for a bit or two. But
let's talk about football, because that's why we're here. And this is a first for me. Had the Texas Roadhouse Coaches Luncheon with the 2 Lubbock Cooper and 2 Friendship coaches today. This may be the first time ever I've talked to all 8 public school coaches in Lubbock, Texas on the same day. So this is kind of fun for me.
Yeah.
I get to. The problem is I've asked all you guys the same questions over and over again, but not everybody's heard the answers, so now you have to come up with something new.
Sure.
Lubbock High coming off of 3-7 season that ended. First of all, I told you this when we talked. I thought the way you guys ended last season was as good as you could have hoped for. Now the coin flip would have maybe changed things, but getting that win against Coronado, and I was actually off the last time I said, for the first time since 1986 was the last time you beat the Mustangs, and it was just a great game. I thought it was a great night for high school football in Lubbock, and with the LISD, just the way both teams came out slugging and played your hearts out with something on the line. And I asked you earlier a couple weeks ago, how did that become a little bit of a springboard or a segue into the offseason for you guys?
Well, I think, it's definitely exciting for us to be put in that situation. And I still remember vividly, getting a phone call saying that there was a chance and relating that information to the kids. And, the atmosphere changed quickly. And, which I think that helped us the following night. And our kids went out and played hard. It was a great game between us and Coronado. And I think it's going to be a great one for us coming up soon. But I was just definitely excited to be put in that situation and to have that feeling of possibly being in the playoffs, because that's your goal. Your goal is to make the playoffs. There isn't anything else. As a program, you want to get into where you're playing. Everybody talks about the time of year, and everybody wants to be playing around Thanksgiving, and that's just true. But at the end of the day, we're use that feeling and that sentiment to kind of carry us over, into the off season. We had a really good off season this year. We transfer a little bit over to track for a couple of months, and then we get back into football. And our kids kind of accepted that, and they understand that. They know that we got to get bigger, stronger, and faster, and that's kind of what we focused on. And then we got into our football segment and our time, and just really good spring and really good summer. We had a lot of consistency, and our leadership and our team really grew over those last 3 or 4 months. So I'm really excited about our young guys and the way they've brought up and the way they've come up and the way they're working together with our seniors. It's just been really great.
And you got some guys healthy, which you had a lot of guys do big things last year. Yeah, knock on the fake wood. You got a pretty key guy healthy in quarterback Wyatt Morton, who I just kind of threw it out there off the cuff before we started, who's twin brothers with J.D. Morton.
Yes.
So you got 2 pretty good Mortons.
Yes.
Wyatt Morton is ready to go.
Yes, he is.
Right now he's going to be at least one of your quarterbacks out there. We're going to come off the break, so I don't want to get too big into that, but he brings a nice skill set to that position for you guys.
Yes, he does. And he's versatile. He can move around, and he's got get out of the pocket. And he's a lot. He's the type of guy that can get out in an open space and make things happen. So you just don't have to protect the pass against him because he can throw well, but at the same time he can run the ball. And I think that's what's going to open up our offense a little bit, and more coming into the following weeks as we continue to build on our offensive scheme. Having to tweak some things and looking to put him in situations where he's going to be successful because he's got some amazing targets out there that he can throw the ball to.
All right, we're coming up on this break. Ben, I'm going to jump in with your question here in a minute. Ben Poorman's our producer tonight, son of a coach. So when a son of a coach gives you something, you should talk about it. So we'll be back after this break in the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Breaking down Lubbock High sports. This is the Westerner Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. I'm Randy Rosetta. We're in the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. We'll be here every Wednesday with Lubbock High, Coronado, Monterey, and Estacado. Ben Poorman. Ben, your dad coached at Coronado with Butch Henderson.
Correct.
Where else did he coach?
Just Coronado.
Okay.
I mean, he was at Smiley Wilson for 6 years before Coronado.
Okay.
And he had just retired after 28 years at Coronado, 34 years in total.
Yikes. That's all. Where were you at? How many years? Juan Rod, where were you?
Me? Before this?
Starting this season, how many years as a teacher and coach?
Oh, man. I would 29.
Okay, so you're creeping up on Coach Poorman there.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting up there in age.
You're not that old, trust me.
No, not at all.
Ben texted me and said he wanted to get your thoughts on coaching the All-Star game. Were you in the ASCO?
Yes, I was in the ASCO game.
Okay, tell me about that. That's a cool deal.
Oh, that was amazing. if ever asked again, and I'm not saying that because I want them to do it anytime soon, but if ever asked again to do it, I would jump on that opportunity. We had an amazing time. We got to meet the kids, and I've never seen a group of young men that come from all different backgrounds, different places, big town, small town, small town, and they meshed so well. And after a couple of days, me and the other coaches, and we felt like, man, these guys have been, God, if they sound like they've been playing for forever together. They all got along. They protected one another. They encouraged one another, and they responded to our coaching, and we really had a great time. It was a lot of hours put into it, but we had a great, amazing time, and I wish those guys all the best. And I've invited every one of them before they left that night, anytime they want to come back. And some of them are here going to school at Tech, and I said, guys, ever need anything, you can always come by Chapman Fieldhouse, and whatever I can do to help, because they were just amazing kids.
I love stories like that, and you and I have talked about this before. A lot of adults worry about what's going on and fret and fuss. I think our young people are going to be okay.
I think so too.
I think they're going to take care of things for us. So.
And it's definitely a reflection of all the coaches. You have people from, Tascosa. You had people from, just Abilene, Amarillo. You had so many kids. Estacado. We had so many great kids out there from all different places, and not just our local schools, but Ropes. I mean, it was amazing, and. Kind of missed those guys after a few days. We kept in touch there through some Sports U, but yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun.
But you got to step back in and jump in with your guys. We're not going to talk about as much about football because we're getting short on time here. I'm going to throw out some names that you gave to my guy during his interview with you for a season preview. Zach De La Cerda is one of your linebackers. Your linebackers sound like that's a group you're pretty.
Zeke De La Cerda, yes, Zeke.
I'm sorry, yes. J.D. Morton's with him, and then the third member of that is. I know it's down here because I just saw his name. Tell me the third linebacker.
Well, you got George Therion, you got Jackson English.
Jackson English, that's the one I said.
Our linebacking core is just strong. And a lot of it is when you have a linebacking core that spends time together, Jackson and those guys, they watch film. They want to get better at what they're doing, and they demand that time with our coaches, which is just a very unique situation. When you got kids saying, hey, coach, can I meet you up there so we can watch a little film before we hit the practice? Those are the type of kids that you want leading your defense, and they are students of the game, very coachable, but we also have amazing D-line. We got some guys up there that are just doing great things, and the things that we can do with our defense. But I think what I'm really excited about, and quietly have been really just holding my breath, because I think they're amazing as our secondary. I think we have done 2 great scrimmages, and we've got some guys that can do some great things back there. But I'm going to have to give credit to our coachings and our coaching staff, because they've talked me into it early at the beginning of our 2-a-days, or whatever you want to call it. I've always been one that I like to have some reserve about going both ways at the beginning of the year, and to kind of help ourselves to get into district. And our offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator say, you do that, and we understand it. But at the same time, we're not ready when we get to district to put those guys on the field both ways. And I think we can't catch up just during that open week. So they develop, and actually, to be honest with you, wet ball, as much as everybody, it really benefited us really well, because we used their template and their schedule time to breaks and everything to our advantage. So our kids have bought into going both sides of the ball. And I think that's going to play some dividends as we get ready for our big district coming up, and our game tomorrow night for sure.
We're going to talk more football with Juan each week as we go by. I want to throw a couple of names out offensively besides Wyatt Morton at quarterback. Next man up in the running back department, you've got George Trevino and Anthony Boyd. You still got a 2-headed monster back there. So I have a hunch Lubbock High is going to run the ball well, because that's been the case the last few years. Just next guy up, next guy to get his chance. So 7 p.m. Thursday, Lubbock High Estacado at Lowry Field.